You are now listening to 13 Revolution Radio, a show about truth and real talk for our people. And now, here's your host, Minister Dawud Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, I bear witness there is no God but Allah. I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his last and greatest messenger. And for myself, I can never thank Allah enough for giving me a teacher to make me the man that I am today, and that is my teacher, the Honorable Minister Linwood X. Brothers and sisters, I greet you and give you humble tidings from 13 Revolution with the green words, peace of Assalamu alaikum. I'm terribly sorry I was there ranting and raving on mute for a couple of minutes. I'm so excited for the show that I just was not paying attention, brothers. I stand to be corrected, brothers and sisters. It's my pleasure and my honor to bring forth a gentleman who is an elder in my way of life, my way of life, my discipline, being teachings on Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Nation of Islam construct. And as I was saying when I was muted, if I bring you on 13 Revolution, because I know I have not had a lot of Muslims on my show, if I bring you on 13 Revolution, then you have to be a man or a woman about revolutionary change. In other words, you have to be taking that which was given to us by our teachers, and you have to be doing something with it that's unique, that's different than everybody else. Because in my judgment, what we as a people have seen in the last 2 decades is a stagnation, not in the teaching, but the executors of the teaching. And for myself, being into contact with a lot of good younger and older brothers and sisters, what I realize is that when it comes to the message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the proper execution of it, then we have to be involved, and we have to have 3 components: science, strategy, and spirituality. Can you prove what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said? Can you execute what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said? And can you use his teaching to bring yourself peace and other people's peace? And when you can do that, then to me, you are on the right side of this revolution, because the reality of the situation is there are too many people who are trying to stay in a puddle and not move where it needs to be moved. And therefore, there are a lot of men and women who are saying, well, you should take what I'm saying on face value. The youth are not taking what we're saying on face value. They don't care about face value. They want to hear depth. They want us to prove. They want facts. They want figures. They want science. They want evidence. And so the gentlemen and the sisters that I will be bringing on this show in the next couple of weeks are men about that. They're about science. They're about strategy. They're about spirituality. And this particular gentleman that we're going to have on our show today, an elder of mine, my brother Ahmed El-Shabazz, is a man that I admire much. I came across his work by accident, and I saw the book, and brothers and sisters, listen, it's $15, this book. And this book is 250 pages for $15, and if you're a serious student and your mind is wide open, you will continue to ask yourself, like I'm going to ask my brother in a second, how in the world is this book selling for $15? Because it's a wealth of information, brothers and sisters. I mean, it's a wealth of information, knowledge. It's a fresh view of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. It's a comprehensive book. It's dynamic. And I would suggest that you all get it. He's going to give his link. He's going to give his information. But I want to say this before I bring the brother on, and I say it again, because next week I hope and pray to have 2 dynamic brothers on my show, being the great brother Anur and the brother God Khalil. Brothers and sisters, I'm only bringing you on this show if you about science, strategy, and spirituality, and I'm only bringing you on this show if you about change, period. If you think the same way we used to think and do things and are stagnant, I may like you, you know what I'm saying? I may support you monetarily, but you're not coming on my show, because that's not what we're about. We are movers, we are shakers, and most of all, we want to feature the men and women who have something to offer black people. And unfortunately, the teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the construct that we call the Nation of Islam have had such a stain put on it by those who don't really know how to execute it, or those who want to teach just a religious view of it, that I have to now enter my name into the ring as a brother who is attempting to clean it up by featuring the voices that you should hear. These are the voices that you should hear. So with that, brothers and sisters, I think I said enough, and of course I was on mute before. I think that I will bring in my dear brother, Brother Ahmed. Now, brother, is this you from the 863?
Yes, it is. Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, wa alaikum salam, dear brother. Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir. This is Brother Ahmed El-Shabazz, and I'm
yes, sir.
very, very pleased to be on your show, brother, and humbled. That was a great introduction, and I'm very humbled.
As far as I'm concerned, it wasn't great enough.
Oh, that was very, very great intro. I'm just a brother. That's all.
Yes, sir.
That's it. And no big I's and little U's in Islam. We hear that all the time. I just try to live that best way I can. And I do appreciate you having me on your show. Excuse me. And supporting me, supporting the book. I'm just trying to do my part. And what you said in the intro.
Yes, sir.
Proving the teachings for the younger generation.
Yes,
I'm of the mind that we need 2 or 3 generations
yes.
of scholars.
Yes.
I hear people talking about, well, we need to build, we need to do this. Well, you have to get your mind right to do that.
Yes, sir.
The lessons and the history and the teachings of the messenger have been blocked for nearly 40 years.
Right.
We're basically starting from square one, but we have a great foundation. We're not starting from zero. The foundation has been laid. So I'm just trying to build on the foundation that was laid according to what I know.
Right.
I'm a writer, an artist. Now, the other people out there, our brothers and sisters who are acclimated to business, engineering, health, medicine, et cetera, you do your job.
Yes, sir.
And we everybody got to have a lane. We stay in your lane, be the best in your lane, and it all come together. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Well, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves because I want you to get into that too. But this is, as I said before, this is going to be the first of hopefully many shows that we will do together. So I would like to give the people a background of you, like a body view. So please tell the people like how you came in contact with the teaching Elijah Muhammad, accepted, and just give us just an abstract of your story, sir, if you would not mind.
Okay. Well, my story is a strange, unique one. To me, it is kind of strange. We all come to the teachings various ways.
Right.
Well, a young lady, kind of hoarse, a young lady that went to high school with gave me my first message to the black man.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay.
And because my classmates knew that I was always radical. I always challenged. I always questioned the teachers in school. I was a radical. And so she came across this message to the black man. She's not Muslim and not Muslim today. But she gave him the book and said, this book is for you.
Yes, sir.
I know you would do something with it. And sure enough, I did something with it. I learned the knowledge of myself through the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And that's the only way a black man in America will come to know a thorough knowledge of themselves is through the messenger.
Can I ask what city that was in, sir?
Sir?
I said, can I ask what city that was in?
Yes,
can I ask where?
Gary, Indiana.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Chocolate City, one of the chocolate cities, and so that was well over 32, 33 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
And I've been traveling this path when Farrakhan tried to resurrect it. I didn't know his history. My mother and my family kept me out of that type of
right.
politics back then. You know, when we were teenagers, we were actually teenagers. And
right.
the adults protected you from things. We didn't have internet.
Right.
And we didn't have a lot of channels on the television set. And as a matter of fact, the TV used to go off at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And so the adults kept kind of shielded us from a lot of internal stuff that was going on. That was grown folks' business, they used to call it.
Right.
So
yes,
I became a Muslim at 15. Went off to Washington, D.C. a little bit, going into the libraries there and Howard University and the great library there in Detroit, and not Detroit, but Washington, D.C., researching what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said.
yes, sir.
The first book I ever read where the author of the book said, if you don't believe me, research what I said.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
And so I went and tried to research the messenger, and the more I found what he said was true, the more my eyes became open. And so in around the early 80s when Mr. Farrakhan was trying to resurrect his branch of the Nation of Islam, I did the student enrollment and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, signed and did the letter, the
right.
whole shebang.
Right.
Then he started doing his thing. That was against what I read in the book.
Right.
You know. And so I started to write on my own. I've been a writer for over 30 years. I began to write on the local newspaper in Gary, Indiana. And I was listening to the radio once, and I heard Brother John Muhammad.
Okay.
A messenger's blood brother, the youngest brother.
Sir. Right.
And I thought they were playing the tape of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
But it was him. And so I managed to get in contact with Brother John Muhammad. We became pen pals of sorts. I would send him articles to Detroit. He was trying to open a temple and a school there. I would send my donations. And over time, I would even travel from Gary, Indiana, on Saturdays to FOI class in Detroit.
Wow. Yes, sir.
I would get up at 4 in the morning and be there at 10.
Yes, sir.
I wanted it. And it was a great thing I did that.
Right.
Met Brother John Muhammad, Brother Jam, who was another one of the brothers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, may peace be upon him. He was the secretary of Master Farad Muhammad. I met Sister Emma Muhammad and all the ones that was alive at that time. And some lieutenants that was in the nation in the 40s and in the 30s. So I was learning from those great men and women the history of the nation. I would ask questions about Master Farad Muhammad. They met him. I didn't meet him. I wanted to know about this man, okay? I didn't doubt that he was the Mahdi, but I wanted to know more about him. And so I ended up moving to Detroit. And I spent several years there and learned much. And with Islam, as they say, it puts you on the road.
Yes, sir.
And so
that's right.
in my travels, I can bear witness that there is no God but Allah, Master Farad Muhammad, and that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was indeed the last messenger of Allah. And after him comes God.
Yes, sir. That's right.
We don't need another messenger. He did his job. And so that's me in a nutshell. Brother Minister Jam Muhammad, I went to minister's class under him. Brother Minister Jam.
Did you? Okay.
He made me a minister. I was this assistant minister up until he passed away. And after that, it was no need of me to be in Detroit. Crime was getting out of hand, and I saw the handwriting on the wall politically,
Right.
and we see what's going on there now, so I moved.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When my elder son, my oldest son, came to me at the age of 12 and looked at me in my eyes and said, well, I don't think I'll live to be 18. I said, yes, you are, if I have something to do with it. So I moved to safer place.
Right.
And that's why I am today, and I've been trying to do my best to spread the word of Islam the best way I can as a writer.
Yes, sir.
I've done I've done a little radio here in the city I live, teaching black history. Down here in the South, you have to be careful.
Right. Yes, sir.
I taught Islam through history. The messenger said that's the best subject anyway.
That's right.
So you can't teach the people about God until they have the knowledge of themselves. Then you can teach them about God. Yeah.
Right.
And so I've done radio. I've been a writer, and a minister of Islam, the best way I can be.
Well, I thought you said you were an artist also, right, sir?
Yeah, I play a little guitar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I play a little blues.
All right.
As a matter of fact, what made me stick with the blues is because it's rooted in Africa. The roots of the blues go back to Mali, Africa. And we know it's in Mali, Africa, the great civilization of Timbuktu, the history of that great university and city. Well, that's the root of the blues. And in my search of music history, I found out that the great Moors would actually heal people the same way the great scientists of Kemet did, were using music to heal the body and cure diseases. So I picked up the blues also because, matter of fact, some history, Master Dawud Muhammad liked the blues.
I did not know that.
Yes, sir. Brother Dawud Muhammad was a piano player, and when the Savior would come to visit their home, he would have Brother Minister Dawud play slide blues on his piano. He would tell Brother, play me some of them blues. Take me back in the alley. So there's nothing wrong with music in the right context. It's what you do with that music. That's one of the seven, one of the liberal arts that we have as a people is music. It's not just to, shake your head and pat your feet. There's a lot to that science of music.
Okay. If you're just tuning in, brothers and sisters, this is the great brother Ahmed El-Shabazz. We are very happy to have him. As you can see, he's very down to earth and very affable. It's just a blessing, brother. I will. First of all, I want to let you know that you have filled up my phone lines. So you would be very happy to know that you have filled up my phone lines. It's like my phone lines are jumping off the chart, and I already got some people who would like to ask questions. One of them being the great God Ar-Nur is here, from what I see.
Oh, please. So, that's Doc, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
That's Doc.
Yes, it is.
I know we don't do nicknames.
Right.
But I have to call Brother Doc.
Yes, sir.
I'm old school. Sir. We always call our scholars in the black neighborhood Doc.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that's Doc. I like Doc. Doc is a brilliant young man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And a good person, too.
Very. Yeah. From what I see of him via conversations and writing, I know he has to be a great person because only a good person will be able to express himself the way he does. Yes,
sir. That is true. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Because we're featuring your book. Eventually we're not going to get through the whole thing tonight, so we're going to have a part 2 if you're okay with that, and a part 3. But what I will do is I will read certain paragraphs and have you expound on them. And I know you're going to blow the mics out, but this is what we're going to do. I'll read a couple paragraphs, and you just tell me what you're thinking about that and elaborate. Okay.
And give me the page.
We'll do.
Yes, sir.
We'll definitely do. Okay, yes, so here is, let's see. Here is page 29. The above picture of the, I cannot pronounce this word. Caduceus.
Yeah, the caduceus.
Right, caduceus.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Medical symbol there.
Right, and incidentally, we were just talking about docs. This is page 29. Commonly used by the medical profession and the picture of the winged sun disk, a symbol of Heru, Horus, Jesus, both point to Moses and Elijah. Now, we must understand that the name Moses or Musa is not a name but a title. The late Dr. George E.M. James stated in his wonderful book, Stolen Legacy, that Moses or Musa was a Kemetic Egyptian title, which was the equivalent of today's PhD or doctor, the highest degree conferred by a university. Both the Bible and the Holy Quran speaks of Moses Musa. The question is which Moses, as there are at least four. The Moses in the Bible, Holy Quran, is an allegory, some historical and prophetic. Now, before I go any further, you speak of this Moses being a Dr. Ozar Seth, the civilizer of the white race. There are so many people who attempt to attack the nation and the message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad saying these prophets didn't live, they were copied off of the Kemetic walls and stuff like that. Can you please speak to what you wrote first and then speak to that particular allegation?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm dealing with here is the symbolism there. When we read Malachi, the book of Malachi,
right,
and that means my messenger or God's messenger.
Right.
You know, God was taking ownership of the man he was sending, my messenger.
Right.
Right? Okay, and his name is Elijah. That's the last one in the Old Testament. He ends the prophets, and it says so in the Bible.
Right.
For in that book, it says that Elijah had healing in his wings.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and on page 28, you see the same symbol of medicine,
right,
with the intertwining snake in the wings and the globe at the top.
Right.
See, so they're saying that Elijah had healing in his wings. He had healing in his words. Elijah had healing in his words of power, because those words of power came from the Lord of the worlds. He had to heal the soul of the people he was raised up from. He had to heal our mind. The soul is the mind.
Right.
Mind is man, and man
is
mind. So he had to heal our souls in order for us to receive his great message.
Right.
And so that's why I make an analogy there. As you see in that picture, you see two snakes, a globe, and wings.
Right.
Symbol of the medicine. See, that was a symbol of medicine. Those two snakes, as you can get into the DNA. It's all types of symbolism in there. Jacob's ladder, DNA.
Right.
Sequence.
Right.
That's what Yaqub used to make the white man.
Absolutely.
He used DNA. And DNA, that's the tree of life with the Jews in their Kabbalah. So that's the analogy I was going for. Now, George James, and that's a great book for students of history and philosophy to read. Stolen Legacy by George G.M. James. And if the people listening to us tonight, you get your pen and paper. See, so you can read these books yourself. That way, you can, we don't need no more blind followers.
Right.
Read
We're going to get into that too, sir.
Yeah, read it yourself. It ain't hurt you. Books don't bite. Yeah, books don't bite you. But so as Moses in the history of the white man was a medical doctor.
Right.
And a prophet. When he went to Europe, he went with a nurse. He had to heal their diseases. He had to put a board in their back. That's also the symbol of medicine. That snake being raised in the wilderness. They were the snake. He had to put a board in their back to teach them how to walk upright, plus cure them of their diseases, which is why we made the pig, the khanzir. We made for skin grafts and insulin and other medical purposes for the white man. That's why that pig is closer to their skin color. See? Oh, the old people in the South, when we didn't have a lot of access to medicine, the doctors and whatnot, if you got poisoned or you were some of their skin ailment, they would put a piece of salt pork on the wound and draw out the poison. Fighting poison with poison, because that pig is 1,000% poison, not 100%. It's so nasty. It has to have a sewer line in its body, in between the hooves of his foot. There's a hole
Right.
there for the sewage to escape his body. That's why we're not supposed to eat it, because the black man, the Arabs, the real Arabs, made that pig for the devils, for medical purposes. And that's all verified. When you go to medical school, I took some medical classes, and I brought this up. They bore witness. Did I tell you? Doc knows. Doc bear witness.
Yes.
Doc bear witness.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
But that's what I was getting at. Now, Moses, which Moses? Moses was any person with a PhD equivalent today. We would call a doctor, a PhD.
Right. Right.
So that was a title, not so much of a name.
Right.
When you study the history of Kemet, or Egypt, by its Greek name called Egypt, or Kemet, you would see that Moses is a title. That's why I asked the question, which Moses are you talking about? Moses ourselves, the messenger, the great Mahdi was a Moses. You understand?
Right.
Okay. So which Moses are you talking about? I put that there to get the people to think. Reason.
Can you give the people a little bit of background on the Ozar Seth?
Ozar Seth, when you're studying ancient Egyptian history, you run into this name, Ozar Seth. Well, he was the one, or Musa,
right,
by his title. As I said, he was a medical doctor and a prophet. He was also a high priest of the Egyptian mystery system. So he earned that title. So we sent him to civilize the white man.
Right.
Okay? And that's in history. You can find it. You have to dig. You really have to dig. It's there. But I put these things there. I didn't put all the references and all of that because I want people to say, I've never heard that name.
Right.
Then I want you to go dig and see why you haven't heard it.
Right.
There's a reason why you don't hear certain things. They don't want you to know. You start connecting the dots, you might wake up.
That's right.
All right? So that's why I put that there for people to reason. How many Jesuses in the Bible? 4. See? And each of those books in the New Testament points to the 4 seasons.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They don't tell you that.
Can I ask you a question, though, sir?
Yes, sir.
When you start analyzing numbers, there are a lot of old followers who may not be that well studied, and they will charge you with trying to mix what they call numerology with the teachings. Can you speak to that particular allegation? Because to me it sounds crazy, because all we do is analyze numbers and how they relate to man and history and science. And when you start doing that, and I find that when people are scared of something and they feel that they don't have enough wisdom to study it themselves, which all of us do, they condemn it without knowing anything about it. So can you speak to that particular allegation and help people understand what it is we do when we do study numbers?
Okay, well, Islam is mathematics, and you have to use numbers to deal with mathematics. Okay, so if we look to the, let me pull this up. I have right here, minister's class.
Yes, sir.
0, darkness, nothing. Allah, 1, light, something. The attract, 2, universe begin rotating. The form, number 3, the change. The working, 4, the making, the power. Knowledge of working justice is number 5. Tell me if those are not numbers.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Allah is 1, man. Who's the second self of Allah? The one man. 2.
Yes, sir. 2.
Number 3 would be the offspring that they produce. And there's your Ankh. Now we're going back to Kemet. There's your Ankh.
Right.
That's 360 degrees.
Right.
That's numbers. Islam is mathematics.
That's the next, that's the next paragraph we're going to read, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
On page number 20. I'm sorry, did I cut the point that you were making, or did I?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
No, sir.
All right. On page 20, it says the cross of the white race has a different meaning than the cross of the original black man. Our cross is not a cross of death, but of life. It is called the Ankh, the Kemetic Egyptian symbol of life. The Ankh is a symbol of the unification of the female and male forces in the universe and creation of new life. The Ankh has an oval top, which represents the womb. The vertical staff at the bottom of the Ankh represents the male phallus, and the horizontal bar that lies between the top and the bottom of the Ankh represents the child, resulting from the union of the man and the woman. The Ankh also equals 360 degrees, but one of life, not death. Our sign, that is to say, the symbol of the Islam, is sun, moon, and star, which means freedom, justice, and equality. We have a 5-pointed star on our nation's flag that sits next to the crescent moon on a red background that stands for the sun. I will not go into all the symbols of the flag of Islam, and most of us have the book, but can you speak to that particular paragraph and talk about the difference between the Ankh and the cross?
Right. The cross is the symbol of the devil. That's death. Let's go to the Quran. Iblis, in his debate with God, Allah, said he would lay in Allah's straight path.
Straight path, yes, sir.
And come before man from his left, his right, and before him and from behind him. Isn't that a cross?
Yes, sir.
That's a cross, right?
Yes, sir.
He's going to kill us. That's what he's been doing. He's been killing us on that cross, that path, that cross, crisscrossing us. He's crisscrossed the earth, killing people. Now, if we go to Job, same conversation.
Right.
God, in the book of Job, asked Satan, where you been? In so many words.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he said what? Walking to and fro and up and down.
Up and down. Yes, sir.
In the earth. That's a cross.
Right.
And we know the nature of Satan. He's a killer. He's a liar, a murderer, a rapist, and everything else is negative.
Right.
Okay, now with the Ankh, man, woman, child. Isn't that beautiful? That's life, the key of life. It says that, the key of life. You see old statues of the god Amin, or Amin. We say his name at the end of every prayer to this day.
That's right.
You will see him, statues, walking with one key of life in each hand.
Right.
Okay? And so what did the messenger tell us about the originator, the first God, the original man? He looked within himself and created a woman to defeat death through the laws of reproduction and to end his search for another man. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, sir.
They're your numbers. There's nothing wrong with numbers. The devil used numbers. That's how he's been messing us up.
That's right.
See, Islam is a divine science.
Right.
It is the very nature in which Allah created man.
Yes, sir.
It's not a religion. They have made it a religion. But it's a divine science. It is to elevate us from mortals. It is to elevate us from mortals to that of gods.
That's right.
And that is a core message of the Great Mahdi.
That's right. That's right. Incidentally, before we get to the next paragraph, as a person that sat in the ministry class of the great Minister John as well as the Minister John, what did they teach you about the knowledge and the science of prayer?
Oh, prayer is essential. Prayer is essential. It's not so much the ritual. That's a sign of a thing. It's the very thing itself. You can sit still and pray. You can walk and pray. You can lay on your side. Right?
Right, yes, sir.
It's in your mind, in your heart, in your mind, what you're praying for. And you give honor to Almighty God Allah. I love the way one brother put it. When you honor your brother, you honor your Father Allah.
Yes, sir.
So we pray 5 times a day. That's according to the rotation of the earth. Those different movements that we do during prayer. That's the bobbling and wobbling of the earth. You know, earth prays.
Huh.
Yeah. So we're in tune, getting in tune with the forces around us. Okay. And to give thanks to Almighty God Allah for everything, good and bad.
Huh.
So when something bad happened to you, that's to test your fortitude, to see if you keep your goal in mind. And when something great happens, you say, oh, praises due to Allah.
Huh.
That's prayer. The best type of prayer is helping your brother or your sister in need, giving a kind word to strangers. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is.
Right.
We're civilized people.
Right.
Some of us were never uncivilized, so sometimes that don't even apply. See, sometimes when we say civilized, sometimes when we say we civilized, that means that once upon a time you weren't.
Right.
I was never uncivilized. I just didn't know nothing.
Right.
But I was never out of order. The old folks made sure you wasn't out of order.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm. So we're supposed to be awakers, people that awake people, people that inspire people, people that help people. We are the civilizers of the civilized. That makes us a Muslim.
That's right. That's right.
See, let me give you an example. Master Farad Muhammad, whole work is a prayer. People kill me when they say, he didn't pray. What you mean he didn't pray? My name is Master Farad W.F. Muhammad. I came to North America by myself.
By myself. Yes,
if
sir.
that's not a prayer, you say that's not a prayer? Really? Oh, I'm just going to study 42 years and come raise up this man in the mud. That's a prayer. That is a supreme prayer. What did he tell the messenger? I'll walk up a mountain 40 miles high just to teach one.
Mm-hmm.
How about this prayer? I will overturn the nations and die myself to free us.
That's right.
So I don't want to hear that stuff. He didn't pray. Please. The messenger is a sign of his prayer. Manifestation. Another brother, I think it was Noble Jew Ali, who Master Farad Muhammad said was a fine Muslim, him and Marcus Garvey.
Yes, sir.
Noble Jew Ali said, the definition of a prophet is a thought of Allah made manifest.
That's right. In the flesh. Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
That's a prayer. He has something. Allah has something on his mind that he wants us to have on our mind. That's praying. But it's operational, not speculative. He made it happen. His prayers was answered. He made sure of that.
Okay. So let me do this one paragraph, and then I'm going to take some questions real quick.
Yes.
Because I love this particular paragraph, and I actually repeated it during my message on Sunday. It says, this again is on page 20, and it says the five-pointed star has one of its points at the top. The devils will take the five-pointed star and turn it upside down to form the sign of the goat, which is the sign of the devil. The five-pointed star upright stands for justice, and if you look, you will see that the space between each of the 5 points equals 72 degrees. 5 times 72 is 360. So our five-pointed star means we stand for 360 degrees of universal justice. Our moon means we stand for equality, and our sun means we stand for freedom. We must look deeper into the teaching of Allah in person, Master W. Farad Muhammad, and the Messenger Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him, and study. Look into the science of religion. Study the signs and the symbols so you will know and not just believe. May Allah bless you with understanding. So I guess the two questions, or not, I guess two things I would like to elaborate on is, A, you admonished us to look into the science of religion so that we will know and not just believe. Could you speak to that? And could you also speak to the mathematics that you broke down of the 5-point star being each point has 72 degrees?
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'll take the number issue. So we have 5 points, upright star.
Right.
We see how the devils will take. You see, the white man, or the what we call the devil, the Shaitan, Satan, he has no symbols.
Right.
So what he does, he took the symbols of us, our symbols, and turned them around, upside down. He may break off a piece.
Right.
According to his nature. Right?
Right.
Okay. So he is the exact opposite of us. So he takes take that 5-point star of ours and turned it upside down. He's the goat.
Right.
Jesus said that the goat would be on the left side and the sheep
would be on
the right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are upright. Now, 5-point star looks like a man, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, it does.
Mm.
Yes, it does.
And who's Allah?
Allah is man.
And man is God, right?
And man is God. Yes, sir.
All right. And 5, that's 360. That's back to that uncle again. That's life.
Right. Right.
You cannot have life on this planet without the sun, moon, and star.
Right.
There are 5 points, and if you design the flag, right, each point should have 72-degree intervals between the points.
Right.
It's mathematics. 5 times 72, 360 all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Also points to the 5 great nations.
Right.
Black, brown, red, yellow, white.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that the white can be a part of Islam. He's on the outside of that circle, ain't he?
Right.
He's a Muslim by faith.
By faith, not by nature. Yes, sir.
By faith, not nature. They
Right.
use Islam to hold their nature in check. I know some Muslim sons. Those are the real Muslim sons. Those are the ones that are Muslims. And there's a few who are followers of the messenger in hiding. If people will kill them. If some of our people kill them. And some of their people sure enough kill them.
Right.
But they are Muslim sons. They're wise. And they're helping us in their way behind the scenes.
Right.
But see, they would teach Islam openly. That's the difference between them and that Mason. He's a hypocrite. Mason.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, big one.
Let me bring a doctor and see if he has any questions for you.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Caller from 347.
Yes, sir. Salam Allah, peace to the gods. Salam alaikum, brother.
Allah. Yes, sir.
Alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. Okay, brother. Ahmed K. I'm doing good. I was just listening to the show. My vibration is high, just like listening to the words being exchanged. I don't know if you, there's an echo in my background because I'm in the hallway area.
Mm-hmm.
I have Brother Ahmed's book. I'm actually reading his book now again. And I had also, I know myself and Brother Khalil, we want to get him and a few other authors, on our blog talk as well. We intend on hosting you as well, Brother Ahmed, on a blog talk radio and, just speaking to the people out there about the book that you have. I think it's a good thing what Brother Minister Dawud is doing as far as with this show.
Yes, sir.
Utilizing the print media and the internet and modern technology to get the teachings out and to spread the word out and to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yes, sir, definitely. We definitely will be on that. And you had mentioned earlier about numbers, and Brother Minister Dawud said, what about some of the old followers that would say that's numerology? So anyone that would have a question and pertains to that, they can just check problem number 13, where Master Fard Muhammad himself says there are 10 numbers in the mathematical language. So the numbers actually speak. They mean something. And as I heard you going through the numbers and their meaning, I'm like, wow, that's beautiful, because I study numerology and science of numbers as well.
Yes, sir.
You know, it stands true as long as mathematics. You can always prove it at no limit of time. Then you must use it. You must learn to use it and secure some benefit while you are living. That is money, luxury, good homes, friendships, and all walks of life. So, yeah, we have to actually use this, you know?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I bear witness. You say number 13?
Yes, sir. Problem number 13. The original.
You're right. There is. I'm going to quote it right off. If you don't mind?
Yes, sir.
No, sir, not at all.
There are 10 numbers in the mathematic language. That how long will it take a student to learn the whole 10 numbers at the above rate?
Above rate, yes, sir.
The average man speaks 400 words, consider well.
Yes, sir.
He's connecting words and numbers, isn't he?
Right.
Yes, sir, he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we see it all there.
We just squashed that one, didn't we? Just squashed that myth.
Easily now. So your issue would be with Master Fard Muhammad if we don't understand. You know, okay, well, then you got to take it with Master Fard Muhammad. The Mahdi himself said this, and I'm only going by what the Mahdi said. So
there you go.
We have to be more studious and a bit less fearful. I think a lot of it is fear of, I don't know, whatever consequence. And this fear sometimes holds us back from expressing ourselves and from studying and teaching. And, you know, studying them critically and independently, it holds us back sometimes. So when I read Brother Ahmed's book, it was a pleasant surprise, because a lot of times when I encounter, not all, but often when I encounter like some of our elders, the elder followers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, there's a bit of apprehensiveness. You know, it's almost like, okay, don't study too far, just stick here. We shouldn't be stuck anywhere. The teachings are actually not designed to stick us or lock us anywhere. They're actually keys to freeing our minds to explore the entire universe if we understand them properly.
Right. That is correct. That's
right. And one thing I want to say, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but you mentioned, I mentioned Yaqub. And myself, a few Brother Khalil, a few of the other brothers, Yaqub literally existed. He existed. Yeah. We're getting all the evidence to prove it. Musa existed. Even the story of the cat, rat, and the dog, the pig being used, grafted from the cat, rat, and dog, that's real as well, and we're going to prove that. One point of reference that, just to bear witness to what Brother Ahmed stated earlier, we can look up Mexican hairless dog. Those that are listening, you can just look up and research the Mexican hairless dog. And when we see this dog, it looks exactly like a pig. This was the dog that was used with the cat and the rat and together. Yeah, it's all on point. Everything that you stated was on point. Some of us might think it's allegory because we haven't studied it. So we think, well, because I don't know what the messenger must have been speaking in allegory, but that's literal.
Right. I want to say this, Brother Anur. See, the messenger, remember, he said he's teaching something so plain that a fool could understand it.
Right.
Okay, so he wasn't speaking allegorically.
Right.
A fool can't understand allegory.
Right.
Okay, fool is a person who is a victim of fraud. They trip. You know, their mind's been tripped out.
Right.
They've been brainwashed. They've been fooled. So in order to wake up a foolish people, you have to speak clear, plain, simple, to the point, truth to these people. Us.
Right.
He wasn't talking in symbols. He was pointing out the symbols and the meaning of the symbols clearly. See, you have to stay away from these people that's talking about, that's allegory. No, it wasn't. How can sharecropper people from the South coming north, how can they decipher allegory? And they could barely read and write.
Right.
He had to teach them everything, how to read, write, mathematics, the whole shot. He had to really educate. Some people, I met people that received their whole education, whatever education they had, they got it in the Nation of Islam.
Right. Yes, sir. Me too.
Some of the most brilliant men and women I've ever met in my life. Well, they would have been well over 100 years old had they lived, but I've learned much from them, more than I did in so-called school.
Right.
Because they went to the highest school you can imagine. Right. No, that's correct, brother. The messages, all he taught can be verified if our people stop being so doggone lazy and want everything spoon-fed to them.
Right.
Do the research. Like you said, you could prove Yaqub lived. Wow. You did the research, didn't you?
Right. Yeah.
All right. You could prove Musa.
Uh-huh.
You did the research. And you know what I was saying earlier about Musa is true.
Right. Yes, sir.
Right.
Uh-huh. Jesus existed, but his name wasn't Jesus.
Right.
Abraham existed. His name wasn't Abraham. Huh?
Right.
And was he a Muslim?
Right.
Or did he just call his followers Muslim? What was Abraham's religion? See, these are things we have to get into. And don't be afraid to learn. I admire you, brother Anur. I think you're a fine young man.
Yes, sir.
Great work, brother. Great work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brother, please give the people your information as far as A, your Blog Talk radio show, and B, your affiliation, your organization.
Yes, sir. Hold on one second. You just hold 1 second.
Sure. When our dear brother comes back, Brother Ahmed, after he gives his information, I would like to ask you some things about the state of Islam today and some of the things that have happened, because I know you're not going to mince words, and you know, if you know anything about me, I don't either. So you know, I've been waiting to get somebody on my show that we could talk about these things that knows about it, because a lot of people would think that if you start bashing on a certain organization, then you just have an axe to grind, and they don't really understand why we're not affiliated with the so-called, well, this is the NOI we all know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Are you back, brother? Brother Anwar?
Yes.
Brother Anwar? Oh, he must have, it looks like he dropped. He must have dropped.
Well,
okay. Well,
if we could do this real fast right here,
sure.
People can purchase The Death of Satan.
Oh, please, yes, sir.
Yeah, via Amazon.com. You can put in Google The Death of Satan by Ahmed K. El-Shabazz, and it will come up on Amazon.com. Or you can go to CreateSpace.com and Google the book that way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I
pretty much
believe
where I
the
got
price
from CreateSpace.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
and I believe that. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that's where I got it from. I got it from CreateSpace. I'm sorry to interrupt.
CreateSpace. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think 266 pages for $15 ain't bad.
Not at all. Not at all.
I'm not one of the 10% trying to rob somebody.
That's a bargain, though, sir. I mean, that book is amazing for $15. As I was reading through it, I was like, I can't believe this man is charging $15 for this book.
This is a Great Depression again.
Yes, sir, you're right.
Everyone does not have a computer, and what I do, I sell my book myself to people face to face a lot of times, and I'm one of the first people they even knew that wrote a book. They said, "You wrote a book?" I said, "Yeah, I wrote a book. It took me a while, but I wrote a book." What inspired me is other people that wrote books.
Right.
You know, and I signed the book, and just to see the smile on their face. That's the greatest payment I can get.
Yes, sir.
Some people don't have the $15. I sell it for 10.
Sure.
Face to face. They read it.
Yes, sir.
They will read it. And these are not Muslims. These are Christians.
Right.
I've sold more books to Christians than I've sold to Muslims.
Right. Now, you have to tell us why that is. I think I know, but you got to tell us why that is.
Well, the reason why, all of our people are Muslim by nature.
Right.
And our people are hungry for information and knowledge. They want to know. Sometimes we know in our deep down in our deep bone marrow. How about that? We know deep down in our bone marrow that something is wrong. I'm missing out on something. It's a missing note somewhere. I'm missing some information that can help me to understand this world I'm in.
Right.
Like I said before, the message of the messenger has been blocked. I'm just trying to get them back to the messenger's book. Read the messenger's books.
Right.
This book that I wrote is a product of what I read from the messenger.
Absolutely.
And what I read from the messenger led me to read other material.
Right.
See, it's been said that in order to change a people mind, you have to change their literature.
Right.
Now, I could have wrote a sex novel. And see, my book's been out about 5 months. And I could have wrote a sex novel like Zane. Okay? Spiced it up good. You know, triple X rated. I'd be sitting on $100,000 by now. I'd be rich. I'd be hood rich right about now.
Yes, sir.
People like that stuff. That sell quick. But this book here said the death of Satan. Huh? Our people don't even think Satan can be killed.
Right.
Yes, he can.
Let alone who.
Messenger
let alone
said
know
as
who
soon
Satan
as you what did the messenger say about Satan? I'm gonna read it. The time given to the white man is up. He doesn't deny it. He preaches it himself. In the Holy Quran, it says he tries to clear himself of misleading you. Quote, I did not call them to go astray. I only called them and they came. I am not responsible. They are responsible. He goes on to show some of the things he did to try to open your eyes. But he knows that you are not to open them up, and he couldn't tell it as strong as a God-sent messenger because by nature he was made to hide the truth. The truth is his doom. So never go to him looking for it. He was not made of that material.
Right.
When he was made a liar and made to oppose truth and oppose you who believe it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So all we had to do is start telling the truth. That'll kill Satan. They tell me in the science writings of Islam, even among the so-called traditional or orthodox, so-called orthodox, because they're not correct right now.
Right.
They said that the great Mahdi beat Satan with an argument. If one Muslim is made at the end of this show, or any other show you do, or in your daily life, the devil cannot claim a victory.
Right.
So we won.
The doctor's back.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, I'm sorry. I saw that you dropped. Can you give everybody your information?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, you can reach your Lost Temple of Islam, a.k.a. the Supreme Angels, at www.mkk.org. noiministries.org. And as far as like being a naturopath practitioner, and I can be reached at personally I can be reached at www.asiaticwellness.com. So that would be my information. I apologize, I had to actually hang up for a brief second and get back on. I hope I didn't disturb anything with that.
Oh no, not at all, brother. Not at all. The brother was dropping bombs on us in your absence, so you know how
I missed it. Yeah, I missed it. I'll probably catch the archive, but definitely we do want to have host you, Brother Ahmed, on one of our shows soon. Possibly our next one, because we haven't confirmed exactly what we were going to do for the next one. So we could probably get you in there for the next one. So that'll be a good one.
With all praises due to Allah, I'll be honored. I'll be honored. That's wonderful.
Oh, we'll be for next week, brother.
Did we get the date set for Dawud?
Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
Yeah, that's perfect. I'll just get in contact with the God Khalil, and I'm sure if it's a chance to speak or teach, he'll definitely get on and do it. He don't turn those down.
Brother, I hope you don't mind for a second while I got the brother Ahmed, can I ask him one more question? Ask Dr.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you tell the people about NOI Angels? Can you tell the people about the organization you're affiliated with?
Yes, the NOI Angels. Actually, it spiritually came to birth in 1985, January 1st, 1985, under with the work of Brother Prime Minister Ali Fallah and 6 other Supreme Angels. And, just me looking at it, it's in accord with the prophecy. The messenger said that the grace period will go for 60 years, not to exceed 70. If we calculate 60 years from, 1914, it brings us to 1974. The messenger passed away February 25th, 1975. And the 10 years, not to exceed 10 years, so they got a 10-year grace period. So now we're in 1985. So, in 1985 is when it actually was brought for the purpose of preserving, and not just preserving, but furthering and executing the messenger's teachings. Because, we can preserve it, but then we have to execute it, because there's all types of mix-up craziness going on around, and, the people get confused. And a lot of our people in our generation are not getting the messenger's raw and direct teaching. We're getting people's interpretations. Some are good, some are better than others, and some are outright horrible. However, at the end of the day, we all deserve the opportunity to see the direct teachings ourselves and, and do with it what we can. The pure, Lost Found Muslim lesson number 1. And the answer number 9, it says that holy is something that has not been diluted, mixed, or tampered with in any form. So we want to get a chance to, so that's what the organization is about. It actually began, the NOI Ministries, or Allah's Temple of Islam, or a.k.a. Supreme Angels, actually began moving in 2013, this year, when the brother Prime Minister Ali Fallah came home. But I don't want to put too much, I'd rather let him or maybe somebody else that's a bit more qualified on the history speak on it, but I can just get my say on it. But
that's okay. But Dr. Khalil's going to be able to do that next week anyway, right?
Oh yeah, that's him all day. That's him all day.
Well, I'm giving y'all 2 hours because I already know what time it is.
Right. Yeah, but we definitely appreciate the work that brothers Ahmed, El-Shabazz, and a few others, writers out there that are writing and doing what they can to represent or to present or to teach Islam to our people as taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because that is the salvation, That it really is. If we just get rid of that fear, and like the brother Ahmed said, study it. Don't be afraid. Study it. Go out and study it and analyze it. There's so much wisdom in it. So much jewels in it. The messenger said that the scientists saw no end coming to this man's wisdom. So, it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper and greater and greater and greater. It's just that magnificent. It really is supreme wisdom, and that's without a doubt.
Brother, I must give you a compliment. I'm sorry. could I just say this one thing?
Sure.
Brother Anur wrote an essay on Master Farad Muhammad. It's one of the best essays on Master Farad Muhammad I've ever read in a long time.
Yes, sir.
He went in on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, that was a good one. And I suggest people. I'm going to get on you, brother Doc.
Yes, sir.
You talking about writers. You write one. You need to write a book.
Yes, sir. Please.
Oh, yes, sir. Please.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the second time I said that to you, right?
Yes, sir. You said it before, I think, on the conference call that we all got on. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you go ahead. When the spirit hits you, you go ahead and do that thing, man.
Will do.
Write that book, brother.
Will do.
We got somebody from the 301 that wants to ask a question.
Sure.
Caller from the 301.
Minister Dawud. Good evening, sir. How are you today?
Pretty good. Who's this?
This is your brother, Black Achievement. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
How's it going, brother?
Oh, great, terrific. I have a question for your guest.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of information out there now, and people are more freely to express themselves. People are putting out documentaries on Master Farad Muhammad, the Nation of Islam, all of it. And you have a countless number of what I would say splinter groups. What's the state of the Nation of Islam as a collective, as a group today? Is it merely a church, or is there anything really going on substantively? Is there any building going on?
Well, as I stated earlier, the core message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has been blocked and frozen and stagnant for about 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're witnessing now, recently, is a group of people who are tired of that. They have become, or we have become, strong enough in our understanding, in our wisdom, to stand and say enough is enough.
Right.
So if you're looking at the Nation of Islam today, I have to sadly say, because of all the splinter groups, and we're going to get into this in a few minutes. I remember what you asked me, Brother Dawud.
Yes, sir.
What you see with these splinter groups are the very thing that's been holding the Nation of Islam down. The second uncles that Master Farad Muhammad mentioned in the 34 Problem book. I don't know if you're familiar with that or not. But that second uncle in that book was a robber. He robbed the third uncle of the third uncle's atmosphere. Now, what is atmosphere? You see this going on. They have blocked the teachings. They have stunted the growth of my generation, our generation, from moving and progressing the way we should. When the messenger passed away in 1985, the Nation of Islam, not him, the Nation of Islam was worth $80 million. In 2013 money, that's billions of dollars. And those agents of the FBI that were mentioned in that memo, 7 January 1969, did what they were hired to do.
Right.
For this period that you've been witnessing since 75 to now. The period that you're witnessing in our history is a period of the Antichrist. And the Antichrist is going to make a great trial for the Muslims for 40 years. It's been nearly 40 years since the messenger passed away.
Right.
All right? And so you're witnessing the final stages of the hypocrites. The hypocrites are on their last leg, and they're going to be fully, completely shut down when we Muslims stand up with this Islam, this divine science, which you're witnessing also.
Sure.
You're witnessing it tonight. You're witnessing it with my book, and there are other people out here that you're going to see push this core message that Master Farad Muhammad gave the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to give us. We're going to have to move these hypocrites and these agents of the devil out the way. The best way to do it, stop supporting them, ignore them. They've been lying to you for 38 years and haven't built you nothing. All they did was talk. That's been the great holdback, brother. But after this time, after this 40-year period, you're going to see some great changes in the black nation. And you're going to see the real nation of Islam. And the generation that's coming behind these second uncles and the ones that's coming behind me, they're not going to be playing. They're going to do some actual building. Have you been paying attention to these young 10, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old scientists that's been popping up all over the world of people of color? That's what's going to happen. They're going to take this divine science, once they hear it, and they're going to do their work through this lens, and you're going to see a great change. We're in the days of Allah. The days of Allah started last year, June 8, 2012. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated, and our Savior has arrived on page 82, that the days of Allah will not go over 20 years. So 20 years from 2012 is 2032. And this is the time period that you're going to see the real nation of Islam and the destruction of Satan and his imps.
Sure.
This is the period of time we're living in. So, yeah, the Nation of Islam, I'll use one person, the big one, since he put himself out there as the great I am, Louis Farrakhan. I don't say Minister Louis Farrakhan. I say Louis Farrakhan. He has a church. He has so much of a church that he joined his branch of the Nation of Islam to Scientology. That's a church. And we get into him a little bit later. But, yeah, it's a church. Anytime you teach a spook, that's Christianity. See? The messenger didn't teach no spook God. He said when you look in the mirror, you're looking at Allah. And Allah is a man. He taught Allah was God and Allah was a man, and man is God for 44 years. And the devil didn't even tell him he was a liar. The devil said he taught hate. The devil never accused the messenger of being a liar. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you, brother. Thank you, Minister Dawud. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anytime, Black Achiever. Anytime, my brother. Sir, you still there? Yes. I got this person that had put their hand up earlier. It was caller from the 804. Caller from the 804.
I'm sorry. I hope I didn't hurt nobody's feelings.
No, sir. No, sir. Yeah, brother,
but I really don't care if I did.
Here's what I would like to say,
yes.
Honestly, and then I'll let you get back to going in because we only have like 10 minutes left.
Okay.
I have been a part of the ministry of the teaching on Elijah Muhammad for, what in ministry I would say since like maybe my third or fourth year being a Muslim. Mm-hmm. And I know when a person has that compassion and they have that voice that cares for the people, they can reach the people. And when a person just likes to dispense knowledge and that's all they like to do, I could tell. Because if you've been in the minister's class under a person from under the messenger, then you know what time it is. You know exactly what to look, you know how to build a message, but you understand that there's more work than just teaching. So when I heard you for the first time and I hear you, I can hear that power, I can hear that training, and I can hear that patience in your voice. So I know that, and plus, one of the things I see you do all the time is when you're in our group, the True and Living 5%, I see you post a lot of current events. And that's one of the things that I was always taught that a minister does, a minister of the messenger, because you said that back in the day, black people used to come to the temple to find out what was going on in the world, because the ministers would teach that current event. So when I see you doing that, I say, oh, okay, I see where his roots are. Because some people will get up there and they'll just take a message and be like, okay, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and we're going to take up this message. And it has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on with the world. So when I see that, even though, brother, I'm only 42 years old, I was taught by an old soldier. So I see that go on, and I'm like, oh, God, you don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But when I see a person say, we're going to take up this subject, what happened the other day in the news is this, and the next thing, and from now I want to take this subject up, I know where your roots are. So I know that you have that great teaching and that great experience because based on what I was taught a minister's supposed to do, you fit it just like a glove. So there's no way that you're going to offend anybody because you have that. And there's a lot of people I've seen out there, and they just, I don't know. It's just like, I'm glad that you're breaking down this time period. I'm glad that you're breaking down what's going on because I'm one of those that's sick of seeing people mess it up and cloud it up. So I'm glad that we're living in this time, and that's why we have a brother like Arnold with us. You know what I'm saying? A young brother that's going to go into the teaching and pull it out and bring the evidence. That's why we have that, and those like ourselves, because that's what time I think it is. If you're there, caller from the 804, is there something that you wanted to say? 804? I guess not. Anyway, so I'm sorry. I just had to say that, sir. So, you wanted to get into something because I had asked you about Come on with it.
You did. You did.
Come on with it, sir.
And in my preference to my book, this book was written.
Yes, sir.
I brought up the quote from the Messenger concerning rebellious leadership.
Right.
And you can find that on page 209 and 210 of Our Savior Has Arrived. And I said here on page 209 and 210 of the Messenger Elijah Muhammad's last book to the black nation, Our Savior Has Arrived, the Messenger warned the black nation about these evil, once followers of his, and their sellout Negroes, and other sellout Negroes, the Negro leaders. Rebellious leadership. This independent leadership is for self-exaltation. That first sentence. Now notice all these so-called Muslim leaders have self-exalted themselves higher than the position they were given under the Messenger. Am I lying?
No, sir. Not at all.
One man said he God.
Right.
Well, that's true. That's true. No, hold up. That's true. Man is God. Black man God. Right?
Right.
All Muslims who are Allah, all Muslims are Allah, right?
Right.
Quran teaches that. The Messenger taught us that. But see, that's not how they teaching it. He said,
right,
Master Farad Muhammad is no more. I'm God.
Right.
Really? You're not the supreme Allah. You're not the supreme being. Because you're using his wisdom to say that you God. So that right there cancels you out. In order for you to be the God today, the supreme Allah, you would have to outdo the 34 problem book. You can't do it. Then you got another fella talking about he the son of man. See how they twisted the word? See, son of man can be used singular or plural. And I'm going to give you an example. If we go to our lessons, Lost Found lesson number 2, number 10, right?
Yes,
Who is the mystery God? That's Master Farad Muhammad having a conversation with his messenger.
Right.
Right? That's what the lessons are, a conversation between Allah and his messenger.
His messenger, yes, sir.
We don't have a messenger. The messenger was our brother. He was Allah's messenger. So Allah, Master Farad Muhammad, asked his messenger, who is the mystery God? The messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, there is not a mystery God. The Son of Man has searched for that mystery God for trillions of years and was unable to find a mystery God. So they have agreed that the only God is the Son of Man. They lose no time searching for that which does not exist. Huh? He said he is the Son of Man. This man, this other fella.
Yes, sir.
Huh? Plural. Right? Like he's the only one. See how they twist the words? And the Quran it gets them on that one. And they twist the words of Allah for their own purposes. That's what the Quran say, right?
Right.
We know that Son of Man can be used plural or singular. The great Mahdi is the Son of Man, the champion of war, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. He's the great Mahdi. That's singular use. He's that God man, the God scientist. But we too are Son of Man. Those old devils there in the Rosicrucian order, they even tell you, man is God and son of God, and there is no God but man. Okay, let me finish this quote, rebellious leadership. It is written in both Bible and the Holy Quran that all want to be their own leader. All want to be shepherds of the people. They want honor for themselves, regardless of Allah, God's warning to them to follow His shepherd, whom He has chosen. Me. He's talking about Himself, the messenger.
Right.
They depend upon themselves, and they have nothing, and they will never be successful. All of these, I'm going to end right here, all of these leaders for the past 38 years have not produced nothing.
Nothing.
All they've been doing is living off the number 2 poor rate.
Yes, sir.
Charity. They've been living off the number 2 poor rate instead of taking the number 2 poor rate and building something with it. I'll give you an example. In Chicago, on the south side, there's no grocery store.
Right.
There's no clinic. Huh?
Can I share
Are
something
you
with you?
serious? Huh?
Can I share something with you?
You
I can
understand what I'm
remember. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember going to Savior's Day in Chicago. And I remember thousands of us were there, you know. We were so happy to be there. We went there. We did our duty. You know, me being an officer, I was always on post. So, you know, at the end of the day, I was hungry because, you know, you're an officer, you don't get to hear the message. And so all of us, the lieutenants, we all went out. After Savior's Day, we all went to a wing joint. Barbecue wing joint.
Was it owned by Muslims?
No, not at all. Not at all. It was Lost Towns in there with us, and they were happy to be there with us. And it was like, wow, look at all these Muslims. What are they doing here? We were all there. I'm talking about, you're talking about Muslims from all around the country. Muslims from England, like we was in there because the brothers from England was cutting up, making us laugh, and brothers from England, from the south, from the west, all of us was in this wing joint getting food, get ready to go back to our respective cities. And this was at the time when, honestly, this is about the time right before the salon had opened, and then when it had shut down, and I can remember going there in 1997, and we returned to that same wing joint.
See? Now, if you take the number 2 poor rate charity that the people give, you could have your own. When I lived in Chicago as a child. I didn't go downtown. My mother and I didn't go down to the Loop. We went on the south side.
Right.
As far as the eye could see, for about 10 miles, was black-owned everything. Your grocery store. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Grocery store. The messenger the Nation of Islam had a grocery store, cleaners, clothing shop, tailor shop, you name it, it was there. If the nation didn't own it, a member of the nation owned it.
Right.
Chicken, fish, bakery, etc., etc. All black. Bookstores, car lot, gas station, etc., etc. Okay? And so it's shameful. They have nothing to show. The messenger said they wouldn't be successful. They depend on themselves. They're not dependent on Allah because they said they God.
Right.
Then he went on to say quickly, he said, I warn the public, you are headed to be burned if you follow these self-styled leaders. Well, there you go.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Don't follow them. You follow Allah and his message that his messenger gave you. Period. One man set up his own study guides. What about the 34 Problems book? What about these lessons we've been quoting all night? That's a study guide. That's the study guide.
Right.
My name is, what did the Master Farad Muhammad say when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked him, who are you and what is your real name? He said, my name is Mahdi. I am God. I came to guide you onto the right path so that you may be successful and see the hereafter. That's the guide. So you don't need nobody else's study guide.
Right.
You study the master's guide. We call it the master plan.
Right.
Don't we? Come on now.
I hate to cut you short.
If I hurt anybody's feelings, I'm sorry. Don't get me confused with the person that cares.
Well, I hate to cut you short, sir, but I got to get going.
Sir. Yes,
I am so grateful to Allah that you have come on our show. Brother Arnur, I'm so grateful to Allah that you have been here. Hopefully me and you can do that show next Tuesday, Allah willing. Hopefully this is one in many, and you can come back and we can go over the rest of the book and we can do a little bit more. But brother, it's been a pleasure. You know, the people have loved the show. We've had the phone lines filled up throughout the entire duration of the show. So I hope that you can come back within maybe 2 weeks and do another one with us. All praises due to Allah. I'm here. Okay. If you have me on, I'll be glad to do so. And once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support and all the brothers and sisters out there who have bought my little book, The Death of Satan. I appreciate it, and may Allah bless you and keep you strong in this hour that we're in. And Brother Dawud Muhammad, you are a strong soldier. I can feel it in your voice, and I look forward to working more with you. And yes, I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's an honor. Yes, sir. It's an honor for me to be working with such a fine Muslim. Thank you very much. Brother, you still there, Brother Anwar? Yeah, I'm here. I'm still here. I'm here. Okay. Can you hear me? All right. Yes, sir. I can hear you. Did you want to say something before we close out? Yeah, I definitely appreciate this opportunity to listen in on this conversation because I actually learned, like, when I listen to the brother speak, Brother Ahmed C, I'm listening, I'm like, wow, I'm taking down some notes. I'm learning because it's beautiful to see that when we can, as student followers of the messenger, that we can actually study and teach the teachings, and grow from it. So I definitely benefited from the exchange of listening to you speak back and forth. So it was an honor and a pleasure for me just to tune in and listen. And I thank you for the opportunity, Brother Minister Dawud. And we look forward to next week. Definitely, I'm with it. So just yes, sir. Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to post the link tonight. All right. As I came before you to dismiss myself with agreement, peace of Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam.